Leet Castle, located around 2 miles from Roscrea, an Irish town, was constructed somewhere around 1250. This castle is incredibly known for witnessing murders and deaths over the years, and the quantity of ghosts who call this site home is unmatched in all of Ireland. What are those spooky events that took place? How did it become a house of ghosts? Even before the castle was erected, Leet Castle had a terrible past. The authority of the O'Bannon clan was being contested by 2 brothers. They had to jump off the cliff where the castle was going to be constructed. The leadership in the new castle would belong to the surviving brother. All of this took place about 1250. Leim U Bhanáin, or Leap of the Bannons, was the castle's name. Although the O'Bannons were a dominant family in the region, the O'Carroll clan was even more dominant. The O'Carrolls just took the castle from the O'Bannons because they liked it. The O'Carroll family held onto the castle until 1649, when it was married off to the Darby family. Nevertheless, during their rule, the O'Carrolls had to protect the castle from enemies. Earl of Kildare Gerald Fitzgerald attempted to take control of the fortress in 1513. Lacking success, 3 years later, he tried once more. A portion of the castle was destroyed during this attempt, but this is not the reason it is so eerie now. The Darby family acquired ownership of the castle in the 17th century. One of the O'Carroll daughters wed Captain Darby of England. During the English Civil War, their son Jonathan Darby concealed his wealth beneath the grounds of the castle. By killing the 2 men who assisted him in burying his treasure, he ensured that his secret remained a secret. He was afterwards put in prison for treason. He couldn't find his riches when he went back to the castle after being freed, since so much had changed. Nobody has discovered the treasure's location to this day. Although there has been occasional bloodshed inside these walls, the most horrific murder to take place there was in 1532. The chapel of the castle, now known as the Bloody Chapel, was where this murder took place. The clan leader at the time, Mulrooney O'Carroll, passed away in that year, and there was great contention about his replacement. The O'Carroll family priest and Mulrooney's next of kin Thaddeus O'Carroll was supposed to take the initiative, but he never had the chance. During Mass, younger brother One-Eyed Tage O'Carroll stabbed Thaddeus with his sword. At the altar in front of his entire family, Thaddeus bled to death. It is believed that his ghost still lingers in the chapel, frequently shining a light. One of the numerous ghosts that inhabit the castle is Thaddeus. In the Bloody Chapel's subterranean dungeon, which was buried behind a wall, workers made a horrifying discovery in 1922. They discovered an oubliette under the floor there. An oubliette is a large pit in the earth where criminals would be put and then left to be forgotten. 3 cartloads or more of human skeletons and bones were taken out of it. More than 150 human remains were found. A pocket watch was discovered along with these skeletons. The oubliette was apparently last used in the middle of the 19th century. 8 feet down on long wooden spikes that were jutting up, the victims were impaled. Just let's hope that these poor unfortunates passed away right away. Sometimes visitors have the overpowering desire to jump into the oubliette. That's not all, though. About 40 members of the McMahon family were engaged by the O'Carrolls to instruct them in cutting-edge combat skills. Due to their preparation, the O'Carrolls were successful in a war, so they decided to give the McMahons a feast as a token of gratitude. They were given food, but it was contaminated, simply so the O'Carrolls wouldn't have to pay at that time. This demonstrates how vicious this clan was at the time. Naturally, the McMahons are still free to roam the castle. Inside the castle, there is a hidden space known as the murder hole room. A murder hole might be mistaken for the oubliette, but it's not. The location of this room is kept a mystery. According to legend, a different member of the O'Carroll family was murdered here. Additionally, it is reported that this room is particularly haunted. The castle and its grounds are home to numerous other restless spirits. Some of them are kind, tragic, or malicious. Sean Ryan, the owner, is familiar with all of them. He sought to repair the castle when he and his wife purchased it in 1991. The spirits, however, disagreed. He was injured twice when he was pulled off a ladder, among other mishaps. He made the choice to communicate with the ghosts, telling them he wanted to restore their home and allow them to stay. After that, everything improved. Near the fireplace of the main hall, an old man is frequently spotted sitting in an armchair. Though nothing is known about him, he is not dangerous. 2 young girls are likewise confined to the main hall, despite their appearance in other areas of the castle. These are Emily and Charlotte's ghosts. At the age of 11, Emily perished after falling from the castle's battlements. People have reported seeing a young girl drop from vast heights and vanish just before she reaches the ground. One may see Charlotte limping. She appears to have had a malformed leg. It's common to see another spirit alongside these girls. The governess is the name given to her. All of them most likely lived in the 16th century. The priest's house, which was constructed in 1571, is haunted by a monk. Since it was completely destroyed by fire in 1922 during the Irish Civil War, this home is now a ruin. People might stay here for the night before the fire. People who slept at the priest's house said they were joined in bed by an extremely heavy object that was even snoring. The oubliette also houses a ghost. He poses no threat, yet on occasion, he strolls through the castle's lowest levels. Additionally, it's common to witness a worried woman who is wearing minimal clothing. She screams twice and then vanishes. Despite her blood-curdling screams, she does no harm. Do you know that the castle is open for visitors? Except on Sundays, you can visit the castle every day. The Bloody Chapel is visited by the departed spirit of the murdered O'Carroll priest. Despite the lack of power in this area, many claim to have seen light coming through its windows. It can be spotted on the stairway as well. There is occasionally the stench of burning rubber there. The Red Lady is a tragic yet terrible ghost. She frequently appears in the Blue Room, a former nursery, but she sometimes appears elsewhere in the castle. The Crimson Lady is tall and slender, with long brown hair, and she is dressed in a long crimson garment. She frequently appears with a dagger raised in the air, ready to strike. This ghost is mentioned in two legends. According to the first version, she was raped by an O'Carroll. He was the father of her child. The O'Carrolls used a dagger to slay the baby after it was born. In this variation, she was able to take the dagger and use it to commit suicide. She attempted to escape the violent O'Carrolls in another tale. She was pursued before being fatally stabbed. A dark, ancient being known as an elemental is also housed in Leap Castle. This thing was never a person. The property belonged to Druids prior to the construction of the fortress. They placed a lot of value on the land because it was so fertile. It's possible that the Druids invoked an elemental to guard their sacred territory. Some claim that Gerald Fitzgerald cursed the O'Carrolls by calling on an elemental. The castle could be destroyed from within by the elemental. Fitzgerald's second effort resulted in the partial destruction of the fortress. Unless challenged, the elemental stays hidden. It vanished from sight in 2006. Another person who claimed to have seen the elemental was Mildred Darby. While Mildred Darby was residing at the castle, she began using black magic. The rudimentary elemental entity was released as a result. Unpredictable and scary and elemental. Irish citizens torched and partially destroyed Leap Castle in 1922 because it was under English control. But in 1991, musician Sean Ryan and his wife Anne purchased it. So this was all about a horrifying castle in Ireland. Would you like to visit it? If you get a chance, do let us know in the comments below.